case you didn't know, that's Ari on the piano.
Good morning.
Thank you,
Thank
Ari.
you. My pleasure.
Did you know it's 11 o'clock?
Right on the dot.
Time
How'd
is
you do that?
moving forward. Welcome to Woodland Chapel. Welcome to Salem's first, finest, foremost center for spiritual living. Yeah, there's a lot of churches in this town. This is Salem town. Salem, town of peace. But wow, when you walk in here, you get more than peace. You get an inspiration. I love it here in this place. Thank you, Ari. She's one of those inspirations. So, is there anyone visiting us for the very, very first time? I think I recognize most people here. Okay, I do. I know those mouthy people down there. That's my family, so that's okay. If you're, if you haven't done this, we have this little goldenrod card, we call it. We like to kind of stay in touch with people so we can send you other information about what's going on around here, some things that you might want to be a part of. So if you haven't filled one out, do so and put it in the offering plate. It's right in the back of your pew. You'll see one stick up there. We'd love to have that and stay in touch. Okay. Thank you.
And today is our Soup for the Soul. This is a fundraiser that we do every month on the third Sunday. So join us after the service. $5 for a cup of soup and bread usually, and whatever other goodies people bring. And this goes to help maintain our building, which needs a lot of maintenance.
Right, exactly. Thank you. That's great. Next Sunday, got a workshop. And the best person to explain that workshop is the person who's really involved with it, taking care of that. I'd like to call Catherine to come forward and maybe give us a little tidbits on that.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Good. So next week, I am doing something called systemic constellation work. And I've been doing this work for about 25 years, since I got my master's in social work. And it works with the soul of who we are. It works with some burdens that have been passed on to us without us even realizing what they are. So it involves looking at the hidden dynamics that we walk around in, similar to how Ernest Holmes talks about the great mystery that we walk in all the time. We within ourselves walk around a mystery sometimes of who we are, how it is we do certain things, and how we may repeat patterns that even though from a conscious level we know we may be better off not doing it, that we continue doing it. So next week it'll be an exploration to talk about some of the hidden dynamics that you may or may not be aware of. And I'm going to break apart systemic constellation work. Some people say it's like the stars in the sky, which is true. When the stars in the sky are in order, it's beautiful. When the cells of our bodies are in their right place, we're disease-free, we're healthy. In families, in family systems, when we know where our place is within a family, then there's no entanglement. There's no confusion as to who we are and how we show up in the world. And I love the work because it really empowers people from the inside out. Knowing some of the behaviors or patterns or habits they've had may have served them for a purpose. And right now it's time to let them go. So systemic, everything's a system. Systems are always looking for balance, which is fascinating. And then constellation is, right now, everybody is sitting in a constellation where you chose to sit, how you sit there maybe every week, because it's comfortable, you're next to people that you feel comfortable with. And so it's a really beautiful way to explore the mystery of who we are and let go of things that are not ours to carry so that we can stand up more in the power of who we are. And right now, during all the division that's happening, it's imperative that we find our own power from the inside out instead of looking out into the world for solutions.
Is that good?
And if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to either contact me via email, not email, text, or we'll be here for a while after church. Thank you.
Well, we have a new class starting up. It's going to be on Tuesday evenings from 7 to 9. And it's going to be taught by Reverend Julie and Cheryl Ostrander. It's 8 weeks. It's called Shortcut to a Miracle. I've taken this class. It is really good. And it's been a while, so I can't remember the details, but I do remember I really liked the book that we used. It was really, really helpful. So if you're open to more good things happening in your life, this would be a great class and a great place to start.
Yes, that's true. I agree on that. But don't forget to sign up here now on something very important. Potluck coming up for Sunday. And we have some people that are really helping us with that potluck. We appreciate you very much. You know who you are. You'll be hearing about them more often here. So let's move along.
Okay. And the lavender form in the pews in front of you, you see that? This is for you to give us your input. And we like to say that we're listening. We want to listen to your opinions here, and any suggestions you have. And you can use it to submit comments or prayer request. And you can drop it in the box in the library labeled treatment requests.
Thank you.
All right, I think it's time to sing. Will you, if you're able and willing, will you stand and sing with me? We're going to sing a song that I know actually as Raffi, a Raffi song, but I think that it's not originally a Raffi song, and I have to admit that I don't know who originally wrote it, but we're going to sing it in the essence of Raffi this morning, and if you don't know who Raffi is, check him out. I'm going to sing when the Spirit says sing. There's a spirit word missing from the first line in your program. The S stands for spirit. I'm going to sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, I'm gonna sing right along. Sing when the Spirit says sing. Let's dance. I'm gonna dance when the Spirit says dance. I'm gonna dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, I'm gonna dance right along. Dance when the Spirit says dance. Let's pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. When the Spirit says pray, I'm gonna pray right along. Pray when the Spirit says pray. Let's love. I'm gonna love when the Spirit says love. I'm gonna love when the Spirit says love. When the Spirit says love, I'm gonna love right along. Love when the Spirit says love. When the Spirit says love, I'm gonna love right along. Love when the Spirit says love. Yeah. Nice job, everyone. Okay. Let's take a breath. Love, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and
let's just take a deep breath. And as we breathe in, just know that you're breathing in the love of Spirit, that life force that animates our bodies, knowing that we are individualized expressions of this holy power, that we have within us all of the creative functions that Spirit does. I know that each and every one of us are here today by divine urge to find an answer, to seek the truth, and to continue to pursue, to be the best you can possibly be. And so just knowing this, my heart is so full of love and joy, and I just know that that love is transmitted to all the world. Whatever we're feeling in this moment, that we are becoming a beacon of light to other people in the community, to the world, that we're ready to open our hearts and our minds to a new way of thinking, a new way of being. And we know that we are abundant, that we are prosperous, and that all the things that we desire in our life, according to our belief, is fulfilled. And so with this, I am so full of gratitude of knowing that this Spirit is always within me, is always on my side. That gives my heart so much comfort, and it just brings me to the place of total peace and serenity. And so knowing this, I release my word to the law with so much gratitude in my heart, knowing that it is already in the mind of God, already in action. If this resonates with you, would you please join me in saying, "And so it is." I'd like to share with you the affirmation of the day. It's in blue in your program. Please join me. In moments of quiet reflection, my divine purpose is revealed. Each step becomes clear, and know I'm never alone. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. Today's piece is by a Reverend Gayatate, known to his congregation as Reverend G. He's a spiritual living reverend, and he's an African. I don't know if he lives in Africa or here in the United States, but he seems to be quite a guy. He's an author as well as being a minister. He's an accountant, he's a business coach, and he's an economist. And he's writing on transcendent purpose. So let's dig in and see what he has to say about it. In a world teeming with challenges, opportunities, abundance, and poverty, this is the season we must each let the transcendent purpose hidden within to burst forth as a shining light in its full majesty and splendor. Transcendent purpose is a high calling, a sense of meaning that goes beyond personal gain, ego, or immediate needs. It is rooted in spiritual awareness, universal connection, and the desire to contribute to the greater good. This purpose is naturally hidden within each of us, a true state of our being. Transcendent purpose emerges when we recognize our unity with the divine and seek to express that truth through conscious thought, loving action, and service to humanity. It is purpose infused with spiritual depth, where work is aligned with universal principles of love, peace, creativity, abundance, wholeness, health, and joy. In practice, a transcendent purpose inspires us to live not just for ourselves, but for something larger, healing communities, protecting the planet, uplifting others, or advancing justice and equality. It is both deeply personal and universally relevant. Each of us is a unique expression of infinite intelligence, whose thought is creative, and through conscious alignment with divine principles, we each become co-creators of our own destiny. This insight compels us to align our spiritual awareness with global responsibility. Transcendent purpose arises when we move beyond self-interest and recognize our interconnectedness with all life. There is one life that is God's life. That life is my life now. If we truly believe this, then the suffering of others becomes our concern, and the health of the planet becomes our sacred trust. The world does not need more apathy. It needs awakened individuals who see themselves as agents of divine purpose. As we merge the inner journey with outward action, we embody a transcendent purpose that honors both spirit and humanity.
Amen to that. This is a song by Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson called Everything is Beautiful in Its Own Way. When I look out over a green field of clover, or watch the sun set at the end of the day, I get kind of moody when I see such beauty, and everything's beautiful in its own way. When I see a fountain flow from the mountain, or see April showers bring flowers to May, I can't help but ponder life is such a wonder, and everything's beautiful in its own way. Words can't describe what I feel inside when I see the beauty in each coming day. What my eyes behold can't be bought or sold, and everything's beautiful in its own way. When I see the clouds form a black summer windstorm that uproots the harvest and hurls it away, in the midst of such anger, destruction, and danger, the storm's even beautiful in its own way. When I see the leaves drop off from the treetops, or see the snow fall on a cold winter's day, my thoughts seem to wander into the blue yonder. God made all things beautiful in their own way. Words can't describe what I feel inside when I see the beauty in each coming day. What my eyes behold can't be bought or sold, and everything's beautiful in its own way. In its own way. In its own way.
It is such a pleasure to introduce our speaker today. You know, love is really all expanding, but we really love this speaker today. She's a key love of our place we call our spiritual home here. Cheryl, thank you for being here today.
Hi. You can't see this, but I have a little perch. They don't think I'm tall enough. Okay. I was asked if I'm safe up here. Yes, I'm safe. Yes, I just have to remember where I am and not take any dramatic steps. What are you doing? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wow. We have a crew here to help me, and that's really kind of important because I need a crew to help me. And I have to say that having canine energy in the room didn't hurt at all this morning. Not at all. And I thank John for his reading. It's a little different from what we normally read here, but that was something that appeared in one of last year's Science of Mind magazines, and purpose has become a real important thing to many of us, as I'll mention later. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. Howard Thurman writes, despite the dullness and barrenness, the days that pass, I search with due diligence. I can always find deposits of left behind by some radiance. Some radiance. That could be an aha moment. Some radiance. But I'd forgotten. I forgot how easy it is to forget. Is it just me, or are any of you distracted these days? Anybody want to? If you're timid, the raised pinky is okay too. You don't have to raise your whole hand. Distractions. I know that some of you all are. I've been talking to a few of you, and I won't name names, but I think that it's a common thing to be distracted. And we might set out with a divine purpose. And it doesn't have to be a big purpose. I mean, it could be a piece of a purpose. It could be a piece of some bigger purpose that we take as our own. But the world is noisy. It's noisy. Right here, I didn't know there was a bell on my walking stick. I hit it and I thought, oh, did anybody hear that? Oh, Cheryl heard it. Okay, thank you. I was afraid it went unnoticed. Okay. Sometimes I feel out of step with my goals, you know. And if you can relate to that, you're a human being. And it's something we talk about a lot of places. When I lead meditation, I often will say, if you could just drop any distractions that disturbed you on your way here, anything that might have slowed you down in your travel, anything that is keeping you from going deep in your meditation, just drop it in this basket. And I have a basket there. One Sunday, somebody said, you need a bigger basket. Well, I didn't bring a basket today. If you need a basket, just imagine a basket. Just imagine a very big basket, because there's a few of you in the room, and there might be a few distractions. I see a nod or two in the audience. We've been discussing this just a bit in the Lit discussion group, and the other night we were talking about purpose and distractions and objectives, and when we were done, I said, well, you guys just wrote my talk for me. Because really, it's kind of like we share a mind. John mentioned that in the reading. It's one mind, one source of wisdom, and we're all a part of that. So it's not unusual that we might have a common thought, we might have a common concern, because we are of one wisdom. About a year ago, I conducted a workshop. We called it self-care. And that was because if we advertised a workshop on fear, we might be affirming something that we were trying to find the opposite of. We might be affirming something that we didn't choose to have in our lives. Now, I'm not one of those people that thinks that every thought is a prayer. Now, some people think it is, and I don't argue with them. But for me, if every thought was a prayer, I would be afraid to think. What if that pipe bursts? Oh, was that a prayer? What if I don't remember to lock my car? Was that a prayer? Oh, no. I think it's the things I put my energy into. It's the things that I put a lot of energy into. And I've been told that those create neural pathways. I'm not going to try to explain neural pathways because I don't understand enough of it to talk to you about it intelligently. But neural pathways, I'm told by people who are wiser than I, are things that we do in our minds when we have a thought that is repeated and we put our energy into. Because one thing I was told that I do embrace is that it doesn't matter exactly what my words are. It's the energy I put into them that matters the most. And that's why I encourage people to write their own affirmations. Write your own prayers. Say your own prayers just as you feel them, because it's the energy you put into them that has the power. Thurman goes on to say, there was no intent to betray what seemed so sure at the time. My response was whole, clean, authentic. But little by little, there crept into my life the dust and grit of the journey. Now, that's the title of my talk, and somebody said to me this morning, dust and grit? Are we talking about housekeeping here? Are the housekeeping people not doing their jobs, and we're going to talk about that? No, we're not. No. It's not that kind of dust and grit. It's the day-to-day stuff. It's the residue. It's that, it's those small things. And most of the time, I have been told that the small things can be the most dramatic, because the big things we do something about, the big things we take, well, there's an action I need to take here, but the tiny things are just like, you saw that, didn't you? Okay, no, you didn't see that, okay. That was done for dramatic emphasis. Thank you, Cheryl, for being my sounding board back there. Details, lower level demands, all kinds of cross currents. Nothing momentous. Nothing overwhelming. No internet interruptions. No printer issues. Or whatever distraction sneaks into your mind. He didn't have those, by the way, when he wrote this. I don't think he had those. They can be overwhelming. They might seem small, but they can be overwhelming. It's those things that they might not take any deliberate action or might need to have a dramatic attention, although internet issues can be a problem. I will admit to that. But it's those little things, those little irritations. It's that cobweb that somebody found this morning, It's those little things that we don't think really need a lot of attention, but they're just there, and they distract us from what we have as our primary purpose. Intentions. In the 2 semesters of community college psychology, with that much expertise, I will tell you that intentions are daydreams on steroids. But I talk to folks who have that kind of knowledge and have that kind of experience, and they talk to me about intentions. And I went to I didn't really go anywhere. I was in my office, and I was on a Zoom class earlier this year where we talked about intentions, and it was just 2 sessions, like 3 hours total. And what it was about was defining just one intention. It didn't have to be the best intention, didn't have to be the most important intention, just one that we could focus on. And it could change, it could change. You could modify it, but this one intention, we were supposed to write about it, create an image that we would share on the Zoom call, and we would share with the others as our final project, so to speak. So that was for me, and you'll see that later. My little helper back there, Susan, will offer you my intention, just so you see what I did in that workshop. Anybody can do these things. Anybody can set an intention, and it doesn't have to be set in stone. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And it doesn't have to be related to your spiritual life. Now, mine was, and I'm on a constant search for another word to use for love. Now, love is a fine word. There's nothing wrong with love. Love is a wonderful word. We use it a lot, and it's great. It says a lot to a lot of people, but we say it a lot, and I was getting kind of numb to that one. And words being important to me, I've been looking for new words to use. Words like cherish. Cherish. I think about cherishing someone. So I came up with compassion, which is an element of love. Now, compassion is not enabling. It's not saying it's okay to do bad stuff to me. It's not okay to be doing bad stuff to anybody. But compassion is opening my heart just a little ways to realize that we're all human beings on this planet. And that reading spoke to that a bit. When John said we don't need more apathy. We don't need more apathy. We need just a little more compassion. But for me, non-attachment to that is very important. I might set an intention, but my attachment to how it unfolds is really in the hands of the universe. The universe doesn't have hands, I know. Before anybody comes up to me after the service and says the universe doesn't have hands, I'm just going to close that one off. But it's in the control of the universe. So my intention has to be offered. It has to be declared with my hand open, allowing it to unfold as it should unfold. I'm not here to bend the universe to my will. I'm not here to declare things to be exactly as I prescribe them. I'm here to allow the universe to unfold with divine right action. Now, if you're not familiar with the term divine right action, please ask one of the ministry team members to explain it in a little more detail. But basically, it involves an open hand, allowing the unfolding of my intention, the unfolding of my prayer as it is meant to be. I don't always know how it should unfold. Now, I thought at one point in my life that I did, and I was not shy about telling people what they should do. I had to give that up a long time ago because I found that didn't really work out so well for me. And that's another talk for another day. Some of you know a bit about my story, and I think that that's best left unsaid for today. But really what it comes down to is that when I am so convinced that my own way is the only way, then it doesn't leave room for anything better. It doesn't leave any room for anything more imaginative or creative or new. See, I can only see a little ways. I can only see a little ways. And I can only see what I've learned to experience, and Catherine talked about things that we experience, touching our lives, and I'm hoping to find out a little bit more about what she has in that basket of tricks next week. So I'll be looking forward to that. You see, this is something I'm not familiar with. This is when I talk about something new. This is something I have never been exposed to in those terms. I've talked to people who talk about astronomy and how the planets influence us, but I haven't really experienced what Catherine is going to talk to us about next week, so I'm looking forward to that. So if you want a little more on divine right action and how that works, there are people here who can tell you in more detail, with greater wisdom, who have studied longer than I have, and stop them for a minute. They'll be glad to share with you. I just put you all on a spot. Haha. Okay. And Thurman goes on to say, in this quiet place, surrounded by the all-pervading presence of God, my heart whispers. Whispers. Years ago, I was in a group of ladies who had decided to have a discussion on the difference between God's will and my will, and how it was revealed to me. How do I know the difference when it appears to me, when it occurs to my mind? Now, I've read fortune cookies. Sometimes things are revealed to me there, and I save the best ones. I didn't save a really good one, and I'm not going to mention that one today. But anyway, I've saved a lot of fortune cookies that I thought were giving me really good guidance. But that's really not what I prescribe, not what I offer. That's not my message. Don't look worried, Cheryl. I'm not going to tell people to look for fortune cookies to find God's will. No, sorry. Anyway, God's will, I believe, is much gentler and kinder than I could ever be. God's will doesn't, Spirit's will, the universe's best plan for me does not come screaming to me in a soundbite. It doesn't come with red faces and pounded fists. It doesn't come with any kind of negative energy behind it. It's gentle and it's loving. And it takes into account the needs of others. So I chose compassion. I chose compassion as my intention. That's not my only intention, for heaven's sake. But that is the intention I chose to share with my fellow students on that Zoom call. It whispers, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in fair weather or foul, in good times or in tempests, in days when darkness and foes are nameless or familiar, I may not forget that which has been my commitment. So behind all of my other intentions, there must be a really strong one that is the root. And I haven't come up with one word to offer for that today, so stay tuned. You know, I'm not fully baked. I'm not fully done. I don't tell anybody, Aaron, okay? But I won't be until I leave this plane. Okay? Yes. I may not forget that to which my life is committed. And sometimes people say I'm a bit casual in my approach to this thing. I often will tell you my flaws really kind of up front. And we have a son that says, don't be self-deprecating. Self-deprecating? You teach them to talk and they come back 50 years later and say, you're being self-deprecating. Dang it. I hope your ears are burning, okay? But I share some of these things to let you know that I want to show up as the authentic Cheryl. I want the authentic Cheryl O. Okay, just to make it clear, I can only be that person, and that's the person that I offer. And maybe that's my intention. Maybe that's the root of my intentions. I'll have to ponder that and get back to you. In closing, I would like to offer quiet moments. Just close your eyes or allow your gaze to soften if you wish. Just take that quiet moment to look inside. If anything that I or Howard Thurman have offered today resonates, I'd be joyful. But if anything that I've said or Howard Thurman has written is a catalyst for a different kind of thought, that's even better. Because this is about you. When I do a workshop, I always say, you're the workshop. I can give you some stuff. I can write stuff down. I like to craft words that have the exact meaning that I mean to tell. That'll make your head spin. But I like to do that, and I offer them to you, but the words that you come up with on your own are the best words. They're the bestest ones. They're more gooder. They're authentic to you. Please take a moment to do that. Your intentions can be changed and modified as you grow, as you learn, as more experiences come into your life. Years ago, I had a friend who had his own little plane, and one day he allowed me to steer it. He said, now you look out, and that's where you intend to go. And I soon found that that wasn't exactly where I was headed all of the time. Well, he only let me do it for a few minutes because it made him a little nervous, but the point was that what you do is correct as you go. I've been told by people who steer big destroyers and cruisers and big Navy ships that they do that too. Little adjustments, little corrections, little modifications to those intentions. And if I'm open, if my heart is open, if I'm clear that the universe is really guiding me, I can't go wrong. Now, after the service, my helper, Susan, will offer you something as you go through the door. And spoiler alert, it's my intention, my class project. But also a little notebook so you can write some of those intentions that you're thinking about. Ari, please offer one to Peter. Thank you. And if you're at all interested in this writing from Howard Thurman, who is a spiritual teacher, a writer, an activist, very interesting man. If you're at all interested in his work, I have a copy of the reading that I gave you an excerpt of. There's a copy on the table too. Because I don't do this alone. Our philosophy is rooted in ancient wisdom, which is something I've been learning more about in this past few months. There's ancient wisdom, and it's been carried on by generation after generation, and we've just taken our portion and we put our language into it. Who knows what the next generation will say? The next generation may say, we're going to do this more gooder. You know, maybe they'll say that. Anyway, I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful to see your faces. It's your energy that is propelling me today. So So I invite you to take this bit of shared wisdom. Take what you like and leave the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Well, I think I've mentioned this before, but one of my very favorite parts of the experience of playing music here is songs really just whoosh to me and come, and I know the song, so everything is beautiful. The one I played before, I just knew it needed to be today. I really queued it up nicely, if I do say so myself. And I've been like feeling chills this whole service because this song I wrote that I'm about to share with you all, I just wrote it last month. It's called Be Free, Lay Down Your Stones. And it came to me in a meditation one morning, which I've been doing more of, and it's the metaphor of, you know, we have these stones we're carrying, these distractions or worries or fears. Just lay it down. Give it to the river. Give it to the stream. Let the current take it. So I hope you enjoy the song. Watching the trees pass by me in the light of the early dawn. The stones, they tickle my waters as I twist and I turn along. I've moved many miles to be here, never knowing where I'd go. Upstream there were obstacles plenty, but I was made to go with the flow. And I'll never be here again as I travel down rapids and bends. I am moving into that's new for me to be. I am changing into the purest form of me, where I'll finally be free. Watching this river pass by me in the light of the midday sun. The currents are dancing down the streams, and I'm reminded life's meant to be fun. I've walked many footsteps to get here, and I've carried quite a load. But I'm ready to set down what's heavy. I'm gonna set down these stones, and then I'll never be here again. I'll breathe in new air, and then I am moving into what's new for me to be. I am changing into the purest form of me, where I'll finally be free. Set down the past now. Lay down your stones. The waters will guide you on your way home. Set down the past now. Lay down your stones. The waters will guide you. Oh, lay down your stones. Thank you.
down your soul. Wow. That was great, wasn't it? Thank you, Ari. Do we ever tell you we love you? All
I
the
love
time?
hearing it. Thank you.
Thank
the love
you.
is reciprocated right back.
Oh, my. Cheryl, you know, every once in a while you come up with something I thought I knew, but I just didn't know it until you said it. So thank you. I'm not going to tell you what that is right now. We'll talk later. Okay, you know, this is our special time right now. This is the time that we get a chance to participate on a deep level, that level that this purest part of me can show up. And I'm going to ask, would you help with this, Roy? Thank you. And Michelle, would you help Roy do this? We're going to ask you to take a moment of your time, walk down that aisle, and feel the love coming from these folk here in the way they offer their time, talent, and treasure. We appreciate that. So we want to sing a song, but before we do that, we have an offertory affirmation, and it's in your program, and it starts out with divine love. Isn't that a great way to start? Divine love. So let's say this. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is.
I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for the abundance in my life. I am grateful. I am grateful for abundance in my life.
I'm going to take this moment now to just offer our hearts opening to just speak a few words. Especially I like to speak a few words from our viewpoint. And this is all of us here in leadership at Woodland Chapel. We've had the opportunity to talk with and be with and have the visitation of so many people who have come here and found something they were looking for or have moved on. But those who are here with us right now, we want you to know, God, I think you're beloved. You are our beloveds. So thank you for being here. Thanks for what you've given us today. We take it, we put it to good use. Trust me, we put it to good use. It does good things. So that felt good to say. Okay. All right. That's the blessing on this. We know that it's all blessed. I'm going to pick it up, put it over here. And why don't we do, we talk about we call it prayer of protection. You know what it really is? It's our power of empowerment. Help me out, Cheryl. Microphone. Oh, okay. You can't hear me. I thought I was yelling out there. Is this on? Okay. Seriously. We call this our prayer protection, but it's our prayer of affirmative blessing is what it is. We are opening ourselves up. When we say the light of God surrounds us, what we're saying is that energy that is set in motion forever and ever by the words we talk about. God said, let there be light, and then energy just sprang into motion. We talk about the Big Bang, all those things, but we know what it really is all about. The light of God does surround us constantly. And so today, let's just say that prayer protection, if that's what you want to call it, but it is my dearest prayer of affirmative blessing. Okay, so let's stand up and do that together. Start out with the light of